So I'm excited to have you guys join me today because it is officially 10 weeks until Christmas. Don't panic, guys. It's okay. We've got this. 10 weeks is a long time. But, it's long and it's short at the same time. So the marathon is starting. We're not in sprint phase yet, but this is the perfect time to really start looking at how are we going to do everything we can to make sure we have the most profitable Christmas possible. And there's lots of different things that we usually want to get out of Christmas as jewelers. So obviously sales is our number one goal when we're looking at profit, but also things like building your Instagram following, building your email following. It's such a good time of year to build a buzz around your business and to really ramp up your marketing. So we have got you, and we're going to be talking through it all. And I know some of you are brand new and this is your first Christmas ever, and it may be a little daunting. So just, take it at your own pace, do what you can. But for those of you that are further along, I'm going to be encouraging you to push yourself a little bit more in a gentle way, gentle but exciting time of year. And we're going to look at what you can do. So let's get started because we've got lots to get through and talk about the 10 weeks until Christmas profit plan. So welcome. You're in the right place. Well done for making it here. And yes, there are officially 73 days until Christmas Day. Don't know if that's scary or not. Potentially, but we have got this. So we are going to be talking through how the best way we can spend that time, because I always think this time of year is really exciting if you're running a jewelry business because there's lots of momentum, and this is what we've been working towards all year. So now is time to really ramp things up. And yeah, those of you that join us in the program, the Jewellery Business Academy, which I'm going to be sharing more about later in the session, we start in January at the very beginning and we work all year round to build and grow businesses. And Q4, which we're sort of in now or heading into now, is the time when most jewelers get more than 60% of their sales, which is huge. So there's loads of opportunity. So anyone who's not had a great year so far, you can make it all up in this quarter. And those of you that have had a great year already, we can take it even further. So definitely a good time to be focusing on your business and the marketing and what you can do to move things forward. Keep in mind that you have totally got this. So no panicking, no stressing. We're just going to take it one step at a time. And you don't need to do it all today or tomorrow or the next day. We're going to pace ourselves because it's not just about making a profit. It's also about having fun and enjoying yourself and not being totally burnt out at the end. You might be tired, you might need a rest, but we don't want to do anything that's going to be harmful. So making sure that we're looking after ourselves in the process is important too. So do come and put a yes in the comments if you're ready to have your most successful but also most enjoyable Christmas sales season ever. Or if you want to, if you're feeling wild, you can pop an emoji in, but just something to be like, yes, I'm part of this. It's your first action that you're taking towards saying, okay, we're going to go for it. We got lots of yeses. Also love that the whole, community is doing it together, because even though we all make jewelry, we all have such different audiences. So there's definitely lots of people we're going to be sharing our jewelry with throughout this sales season, and just, giving them a bit more joy in their lives. I think jewelry is such a joyful thing. I don't think anyone's ever bought jewelry and it's not made them happy. So I think we are doing an amazing service. Carol, love the emoji, gone with the diamond. Jess is already going south and dancing. Love it, Jess. Why not? Anne's has got a little duck. Love it, little chick. So lots of yeses, and yeah, great. We are ready to go. So in this session, we'll be having a little look at what it takes to have a profitable Christmas sales season. So focusing on profit first, and there's not a huge amount we need to do to ensure the profitability, but we're just going to check that we've done those things. And then we're going to get straight into the 10-week sales and marketing plan from now until Christmas. And you can take notes if you like, or start jotting down how you're going to be using it. There'll also be a replay for this session. So if there's anything you missed, don't worry, just take what you can, and there'll be a download at the end as well to help you map out your 10 weeks ahead. Then I will be sharing a little bit about the program, the year-long program that we run called the Jewellery Business Academy. It is starting again on the 5th of January, 2026, which may sound like a while away, but it is going to be here in a flash in no time. And there are, I think, quite a bunch of you who are on the current Business Academy. Some of you I know are already going to be joining us for next year. But some of you may be thinking about joining us for next year. So I will share a bit about the program towards the end and answer any questions that anyone will have as well. So let's get into it, our 10-week sales and marketing plan for our jewelry business. So this starts from today, the 13th of October, and it finishes on the 20th of December, because I'm assuming you might want to take a little break over Christmas. But of course, you can adapt it for your business. Some weeks you might, ramp up a little bit more. Some you might be doing a little bit less, especially if you're going away or anything like that. And you can definitely edit it, but it is a really good starting point. Okay, so looking at profit first. So just a few things to make sure we've got in place, because if we are marketing our jewelry business and we're getting lots of sales in, what we don't want to do is be selling lots of jewelry and making no profit. Because even though it feels nice to sell jewelry, if we look at the bank account at the end and it is in minus, or it's not in a healthy place, that can be very disheartening, especially when you've done a lot of work. So we need to do a little bit of pre-work to make sure that when the sales come in, it is going to be profitable. So first of all, and we've been talking about this a lot recently, check your prices, and you probably need to increase them, especially if you're working in silver or gold or any precious metals. They've all gone up hugely over this year, like 50% in many cases. So do make sure that you are looking at those regularly and updating them. And if you're working in other materials, they probably need to go up as well, because it's not just the materials, but it's also your time, your craftsmanship, inflation, all these kind of things. Your prices should be going up by at least a few percent every year, even without any material cost increase. So I know it can be scary to increase the prices, but remember that handmade jewelry isn't, people don't buy it based on the price, because you can literally go down the road to any high street and buy cheap jewelry at any time, that is going to be way less than anything we're selling. And those kind of people that want to do that, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, maybe there is, but that's a judgment that can be made. They're not the people that we're trying to sell to. And if we try and sell to those people, we're going to drive ourselves crazy, and we're not going to enjoy running our businesses. So handmade jewelry is a totally different market. It's not price sensitive. People buy it because they love it, because they want it, and because they have money to treat themselves on things. And of course, they don't want to be, totally ripped off. But in my experience, no jeweler ever really rips anyone off, especially not a handmade jeweler. I've not really seen that. So much more likely is we're undercharging, and we just need to have the confidence, and hopefully the community can help with that together, to say, okay, I'm going to charge what is correct, and then I will market for the right audience, rather than trying to shape my business around people who don't appreciate what it is that I am making. So first checkbox is, have you increased your prices since earlier on in the year? And if you haven't, it's a quick change. It might take a little bit of time, but hopefully not more than a day or two. Just get it done ahead of this sort of marketing push. Next up, we want to ensure that we have jewelry at different price points. So particularly ahead of like a marketing push like this, it's really good to have some giftable items that are, perhaps £100, around about that sort of mark. I generally don't recommend selling handmade jewelry for less than £100, unless it's very specifically should be less than £100, like maybe a pair of earrings that just have one bead on or something. But most of the stuff that we're making is going to be £100 upwards. So Giftable items might be around the £100 mark, but then mid-range jewelry, which would be probably like £100 to £300, is probably where a lot of our jewelry sits, people in this community. But don't forget, if you can, depending on what stage you're at with your business, to have a high-end offer as well, sort of 300 to 500, 500 to 1,000. And that might be moving to looking at gold and things like that. Of course, it will depend where you're at in terms of your skill level. It might be something to work towards, but don't assume that people can't afford it. I think that's a big mistake we can make, is think £1,000, no one's going to spend that. But somebody, their budget might be in mind that they want to spend that on their partner or someone, you know, close to them. And actually, if it's too low, they'll think, oh, it's not really going to be good enough for what I'm looking for, something special. So do include something at the higher end. Even if you don't have the money to make it, you can make it in silver, do a prototype and share, you know, what would be available in gold. So making sure that we're hitting those different price points so that people have options of what they can get from us. And then think beyond the sales season. So also thinking about, you know, as we're coming to December, and we'll talk about this in our marketing plan, we might move away from pieces that are going to be ready for Christmas and thinking about things like gift vouchers. Those of you that do teaching, people will be booking classes for the new year. January is a great time to sell jewelry making classes because everyone's like, I want to do something new. I want to improve my skills. I want to get outside, and it's January and it's cold and it's miserable. I want to go make some jewelry. So if you're someone who does teaching, this can be a good time of year to start thinking about that ahead for the next sort of chapter. And then also commissions. Your commissions might close fairly early on in this 10-week period because most people need sort of 4-week turnaround for commissions, especially if you're sending things off to be hallmarked and things like that. So it may be that you close your commissions early, but you might say, okay, I'm opening my books for January for commissions. And surprisingly enough, a lot of people order commissions in the new year. They might have some money from Christmas. Something might have happened over the Christmas period where they're ready to invest in something, and you've got Valentine's coming up and all those kind of things. So it's, yeah, we're looking at the next 10 weeks, but we're remembering the long-term plan that there is life after Christmas. So we can remember that too. So just a quick reminder, profit comes from a mixture of good pricing that we talked about earlier, combined with healthy sales. So we're going to sort out our pricing, we're going to market to get our sales, and sales come from your connection with your customers via marketing, which is why this is all about marketing. A lot of people, when they say that they're not selling jewelry, they think it's to do with their pricing, but 99% of the time it's to do with their marketing. So that is what we're going to be focusing on today. Okay, so 10 weeks, we've got 10 weeks. We're going to market our jewelry. The first thing we want to do is structure the campaign. So we're focusing on short-term marketing techniques. So you can put aside for now, or at least minimize the priority of long-term marketing techniques. They would be great to do the rest of the year, but right now we want things that are going to work now. So things like blogs, I might ramp down this time of year. They are long-term marketing techniques. Things like if you do, I don't know, YouTube videos or podcasts. I know not many jewelers do all these things, but anything that's really long-term, even things like SEO, quite long-term stuff, I would put that. I wouldn't say don't do them, but they're lower on the priority. The short-term marketing techniques are going to be things like Instagram posts. If you're on other social media posts, they're going to be emails, they're going to be things that people see and they act, see and act, rather than a kind of a slow burner. So for this campaign, and you can edit it, but for this campaign, I'm saying we're going to do 1 to 2 emails a week from now until Christmas. I know it might be a lot if you're not used to doing emails, but it's a great way to get used to doing them. We're going to be posting on Instagram 5 days a week, so it's flexible which days, but 2 days off, 5 days on. That is quite intense, but I think that that is good for this 10-week period. You might then go down to sort of 3 days or 2 days a week the rest of the year. In stories on Instagram, we're going to be posting those 5 days as well, but it will be very similar content. And I've put that we're going to do 2 in-person sales events. So whatever that looks like for you, edit it for yourself. You might say, oh, I'm not going to manage that, but I'm going to do that, or I'm going to replace different bits. But that is what a campaign structure could look like. So we start at the top with, what are we doing? What are we not doing? So there's no commitment to blog in there. There's no commitment to do, any kind of long-term stuff. We may also do that, but this is the priority. So it's about getting things in order to avoid the overwhelm of, I've got to do everything. I need to write 10 blogs, and I need to also do this, and I need to also do that, and make a new collection starting today, because that is not helpful in my experience. And if you are one of those people, then I fully understand, because when I get busy, my brain decides to throw new ideas in, like as if there isn't already enough. So I have to be like, okay, but there's next year. There's always next year we can do that. For now, this is the focus. Some things that you might consider doing is joining in with some of the small business maker campaigns. I've got a slide with all the dates of those coming up, but there's things like Small Business Saturday. There's one in the US, there's one in the UK. They are 1 week apart. And there's a few others as well, like Indie Week and stuff like that. Just a card, do some things. I'll share some more about that as we go through, but they're just great to kind of, jump on board with other makers who are going to be also marketing their business this time of year. Then you might do something like, if you're posting to Insta, automatically post to Facebook. Why not? So setting up automations of things like that can be really helpful. Don't stress yourself out with it. If it doesn't work or doesn't go to plan, don't worry. But if it's an easy setup, then that might just give you kind of double your efforts on some of your posts. And then it's going to be really important to be responsive to emails and direct messages during this time. This is a marketing time, but also a customer service time. So hopefully you have made lots of jewelry already. If not, next year, try and make lots of jewelry already by this point, because really we want the focus now to be less on the making and more on the marketing and customer service. But of course, depending on your business model, some pieces might be made to order. You might need to finish off some pieces. That's totally normal as well. I would consider doing a series of time-limited offers, which we're going to talk about as we go through the plan. So like 1 week flash sort of offers. We focus more on adding value than discounting, but it's short-term, like short bursts to get people to make a decision to purchase who already want to buy from you. And it also can be nice to look at potential partnerships during this time, like with other makers, doing like a gift guide together, or just sharing what other people are up to. Really getting into the support small business spirit can help your business to grow and develop. So again, we'll go into that in a little bit more detail as we go through. In terms of the resources we're going to need for the next 10 weeks, I recommend getting as many of these as you can together. So Christmas themed images can be great for your jewelry business, but generally professional looking photos. We're going to need photography to share on socials. So again, I usually recommend focusing on photography sort of September time, so October can be more focused on sharing. But if you haven't done it, it's never too late. Get the best photos that you can now, and we can get sharing those. We want to make sure that we've got a fully functioning online selling system with stock. And if you're not selling online, it will be craft fairs and events, but making sure that there is a way that I can come find you, find your jewelry and buy from you, which sounds really obvious, but just check and double check that it's all working, because there's nothing worse than doing all this work, promoting something, people go to your website and you realize that PayPal isn't linked up or something's not quite working in the back end. So double check all of that as well. Make sure you've got your terms and conditions all clear and set out on your website so that all of that is covered. and also your shipping methods and all those kind of processes in place so that people know how long it's going to take for things to arrive. So just the general housekeeping that we need to do before we move on to just shouting from the rooftops about your jewelry and how we would like people to go and buy it. So with all that out of the way, we can get to the juicy bit, which is the actual content creation. And hopefully, I know a lot of people dread marketing their business, but hopefully today we're going to talk about the fun side of it and how exciting it can be to find customers and connect with them and help them to make a purchase that they are going to absolutely love. So remember that people buying your jewelry want it, they're excited about it, and they can't wait to hear about it. So it is a good thing. It's a win-win situation. So week one, the first week, which is this week, I recommend giving an overview of what is on offer. So you know your jewelry, you know what's available, and you may have even shared it many times. But a very simple, obvious, this is what you can buy from me this Christmas is a really good place to start. And this is the kind of post, if you share it, that you can pin to the top of your Instagram. So it's almost like a mini catalog of, okay, this is what I can buy. Because there's so many times I've gone to jewelers' Instagrams or websites, and it's all like lots of fancy stuff and it's looking really cool. But I'm like, but what can I actually buy? What can I scroll through and add to cart? So a really obvious, this is what is for sale, kind of overview of all of your stock. As much of it as you can. If you've got too much, then just, a good selection. So this could be an email, like a gift guide to outline your collection. It can go on the blog as well. I mentioned that blog is not a priority, but if you've got content that is really good to go on the blog, it doesn't take much longer to take it from your email platform over to your blog. You might as well do it. Really clear images, really obvious what's available, and just put it out there. Show us the goods. This is like if you're going to a craft fair, like laying out the table, being like, this is it, guys. This is what's available. And you may not get loads of interaction from that because it's kind of a more in-depth sort of post and email. But it's the kind of thing that people might save and come back to. Or in future, if you're sharing something, they might say, oh, what have you got, in stock? And you can just refer them to, this is what's available this Christmas. It also helps you get really clear on what your offering is as well. And of course, you can add to it, but it's great to just start with the goods, laying out the goods. So that is week one. Week two, still on week one, sorry, final bit. So yeah, I mean, I think we've covered this anyway, but posting lots of juicy pics of your collection, your stock. So it's all about desire and clarity. So why do people buy handmade jewelry? It's because they want it. They don't need it. They don't have to have it. I mean, maybe they do, but really it's because we want it. So how do we create that desire? And especially when people are buying online, they don't have the tactile element of it, which can be great if you're selling in person. So images are going to be really key. Videos, images. But so desire is really important. And then clarity is what we've been talking about, which is what is actually available. Like I said, there's so many accounts out there with lots of gorgeous work, but I'm not clear, is this something that's sold? Is this for sale? Where do I find it? So being really obvious. I remember someone saying, when you're talking to people online, you got to think about you're talking to like a child. So very clear directions, because we're all distracted online and we see so many things. It needs to say things like, click here. And we're like, okay, I can do that. So making it really, really simple and straightforward for someone who's just scrolling through. In terms of ideas for like a story or a reel, is you could do a video launching your Christmas collection, perhaps twizzling like all the different pieces and just running through, just what's there. Again, just showing the goods. Don't assume that they know just because you've shared it before, even if you've shared it a million times before. Never assume. I always find this with our diplomas, because every year we promote and sell our jewelry diplomas, And we do it from like November to June. And often, like towards the end of June, someone's like, so what? So you do a jewelry diploma? Like, we've been talking about this for so long. But you know, there's new people coming to you all the time. So don't assume that just because you've said it 100 times that everyone knows. There's always, you know, fresh meat, fresh people who want to find out about your jewelry business. So keep sharing. Brilliant. Okay, I think that's enough on week 1. So week 2, I recommend focusing on a best seller. So you're picking out one piece from the collection and saying, take a look at this one, guys. And if you've not sold anything yet, just pick one that you think will be the best seller. Nobody's going to check, nobody's going to verify it. You know, if you've sold one of them and you've sold nothing of everyone else, then that's the best seller. But if you've got, you know, a piece that you kind of know this is the kind of hero piece, or this is the one that people are going to go for, then we want to focus on that. And it does a couple of things. One, it just drills down into one piece, having looked at the whole collection. But also it directs people to what they might want. So bestsellers are a great selection to have on your website as well, to make sure you're helping to curate that shopping experience. So it goes from just a random selection of jewelry to, oh, this is the one that people really like. So there's a high chance that I might like it as well. And this could be a good opportunity to do a time limited offer around the bestseller. So again, I wouldn't recommend discounting, but adding value. So you might say, you know, this necklace is our bestseller, and as a special kind of celebration for this week only, if you buy it, we're also going to throw in a pair of stud earrings that match. Perfect, ready for Christmas. So I'm giving them a deadline, and that means that whole week you can kind of talk about it. So at the beginning of the week, you can share the offer. In the middle of the week, you can share a bit more about the piece. Towards the end of the week, you can say the offer is ending now. And even if no one buys it, it gives you content to talk about, and it's getting people excited about your jewelry. And if they're thinking about buying it anyway, they probably won't buy a piece for the offer, but if they wanted to get it anyway and there's an offer, then you're like, okay, I better go now because I get this extra thing. So we all love an offer. We're all suckers for an offer. But again, we're not trying to do any techniques that are manipulative or that would encourage people to buy something they don't want. It's all about getting people to make a decision when they already want something. And I think that's really important to keep in mind. It's not about trying to convince someone, because that energy doesn't feel good from our side or from the other side. But if somebody wants it and they just, you know, they're just busy doing other things, it's a great opportunity to say, okay, now's a good time for me to go for it. I would make an offer short, like a week long is a really good amount of time. Give people a deadline, make it clear, maybe mention it 3 or 4 times throughout the week. I know it feels a little bit crazy to do, but people only see a very small percentage of what you put out there. So even if you mention an offer 4 times, most people will see it a maximum of once. So we do need to be a little bit relentless with these things. So an example of an offer that's adding value might be buy 3 stacked rings and get a bonus 4th one for you to keep. Or you could give it away as well if it's a gift. So giving people options there. In terms of your email, you want to follow up with your offer, share some lovely pictures of the kind of things that they would get. And again, on socials, we want to do the same and do a little bit of storytelling in there as well, behind the scenes, how the piece was made. So really just zooming in on that one piece and what you love about it and getting other people excited about it. Alrighty, then we're on to week 3. So week 3 is a fun week because it's just giving value. So we've done a little bit of selling and now we're ready to just connect with people. So no sales necessary this week in terms of like the posts that we're putting out there. So I'd recommend an email around some storytelling, something to do with your values. It might be to do with what you love about handmade. You could even share some other makers, maybe not other jewelers, because I do think there's a conflict of interest there, But you could share other handmade designers that you're going to be buying from this Christmas. Maybe there's like a potter that you really love, or an artist that you love, or something entirely different. It's a great opportunity to just kind of share some of the love and connect with other people. And this is where the partnership element comes in as well. And you might even share some of their content on your socials. A great way to build your social media is to share other people's content. Obviously, you need to ask for permission first, but most people are very happy to have their stuff shared with your audience because it's a great way to share and kind of build. And sometimes they might want to share yours back. So looking at other businesses that you buy from, it might be a shop that you're selling through and you want to share a bit about the shop. All these kind of things kind of create great feeling and help to build the story of you and your business and connection there. Or it could be something like life of a small business, behind the scenes. There's so many things you can do, but I think just focusing on giving value and not necessarily talking about the jewelry so much for a week is a really nice kind of interlude at week 3. Then we need to get back to selling quite quickly because it is the Christmas sales season. So week 4, I would focus on another key piece to buy. And by this point, we should be picking up what's working a little bit. So I don't like to go into too much of a detailed plan for the whole time. I'd say the first 3 or 4 weeks, we want to have a real structure, and there is more structure coming. But after that, I would edit it as I go to say, oh, actually, when I shared this, people loved it. They really engaged with it. So I'm going to do a bit more of that. Or, you know, when I shared the storytelling one, that worked really well. So I'm going to include more of those. So start listening to what's working and adapting as you go. So another key piece to buy. So we've done a bestseller, but now we want to focus on something else. And it may just be another piece you love in the collection. It may be something that matches with something else. It's really hard to say what it should be because it depends on your collection. It almost doesn't matter what it is, but it's giving different pieces of jewelry some limelight on their own, because it's great to share the overview at the beginning, but it's a lot of information for someone to take in. So now we're sort of drip feeding, like, what about this piece? What about this piece? And I like to think of it as someone's walked into a shop and maybe they're saying, oh, I want to buy a dress, but they have no idea where to start. And you start showing them different ones and saying, what about this one? And they can start to figure out, I do like that, I don't like that, and helps them with their buying experience. So again, you might choose to do a different offer for this. So depending on how the offer worked before, you might say, okay, this one, it's just going to be free shipping for this week. So the offers don't need to be big, and they're not really about getting someone to buy. It's more about having something to say. So we're not just saying, here's my jewelry, and also here's my jewelry, and also here's my jewelry. We've got some information that we're sharing. So don't get disheartened if nobody takes up the offer. It's still really helpful for you to be putting stuff out there. And it's a great way to have conversations, because people might say, oh, you did free shipping last week. Is that still available this week? And you might be like, no, it isn't, but check out next week because I have another offer coming up. So it's all about building conversations as well. And yeah, this is the kind of listening to what's working, so ear to the ground, and sharing more of what's working. But it's great to have that focus of saying, okay, I'm going to share about these earrings for this week, and you might do a couple of posts around that. So you might do a reel where you're sort of dangling them. You might do a carousel post with like lots of different images of them. And then you might do a testimonial with someone wearing them. So there's loads of different ways to share the exact same piece over and over again. And it's good practice to get into on how to do that. I feel like that's what marketing is. It's about saying the same sort of thing over and over again in different ways, and keeping it interesting and keeping yourself interested as well. That's sometimes the hardest part, is for you to be passionate about the pieces. Okay, so week 5, we want to kind of, let people know time is sort of running out at this point. There's only 5 weeks until Christmas Day. And depending on when your deadlines are, You might have some information around your deadlines that you want to share as well in terms of shipping and all those kind of things. So my content recommendation for this week is 3 top gifts. So far we focused on pieces, but not so much the gift element of pieces. And I think as we get closer towards the end of November, Small Business Saturday, Black Friday, all of that, people really start to think about, okay, it's actually Christmas and I actually need to get some gifts for people. So 3 top gifts. 3 is a random number, but it's quite a good one to work with. And you're sort of giving the message like, it's crunch time now. Here are 3 great gift ideas. 1, 2, 3, showing them in an email, showing them on social media posts. You might show them all in one post, and then you might do one day focus on one, the next day focus on the other, the next day focus on the other. So again, just kind of breaking it up into what pieces you're focusing on. It's great to pepper testimonials in if you have any. If you don't have any, try and get some. And I'm not against, we should always be honest with our testimonials, but if your business is new and you don't have any yet, and there's somebody who you can make a piece for who would be happy to share about their experience, that's a testimonial. We all have to start, our first review is often our mum. It's just how it goes, or our daughter, or our auntie, or our uncle, or our brother. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that when we're getting started. Of course, if we were to have fake reviews, that would be disingenuous and wouldn't feel good for us or the customer. But don't necessarily wait to get a random review. You can be proactive and say, okay, who do I know who I can give some jewelry to, or they might buy a piece, and I can ask, could you do a review for me? So again, they don't always get loads of interaction. But remember, people buying your jewelry don't always interact with you on social media, but they will look and they will see. And before they make a purchase, they might look again to double check for that social proof. Is this business safe? Are they reputable? So these things are super helpful in all of that journey that they're going to be going through. Okay, week 6 is about you and sharing your story. So we had a focus on value week about 3 weeks ago, which was more about your values, but this is about you, like your origin story. So it's all about building connection. Again, taking the focus off the jewelry for a little bit. Share why you started your business, how it's going, what you love about it, and a bit about who you are. This is great for anyone who's seen your jewelry and wants it, but is on the fence, because they are getting some connection with you. So they're like, oh, this is where she lives, or these are her pets, or these are her family, or she loves gardening, or whatever it is. And I always think it's about showing you in your element. So think about, where are you in your element? And it might be making jewelry. So you can share about making jewelry, of course. But also it might just be like going for a long walk in nature and sharing the pictures that you take. It might be that you have a really, like vibrant friend group or family group, or maybe you love like sports. It doesn't matter what it is you love. It's about sharing a bit about you. So I would do a few posts this week, some about just what you love that could be nothing to do with jewelry. It's a really nice break and gives people a bit of an insight. But you could also do something about your origin story, why you started, taking us on that sort of journey with you. There's so much fun you can have with these kind of posts. And again, I would do this as an email as well. And if you can tie it into your current collection and the pieces that you're selling, brilliant, but there's no pressure to. So it might be that you started making your jewelry business because it was, you're going through a stressful time and it really helped you relax. And now you make jewelry that reminds you of the ocean, which is also relaxing, and it relaxes your customers. So it's all kind of tied in. That would be ideal. But just let it flow, I would say, with the storytelling pieces. Speak from the heart and the connection will come. They can be a little bit more scary to do. They can be a little bit more vulnerable, but we're a lovely community online, I think, and everyone is super supportive. So I reckon, you know, just go for it, put yourself out there a little bit, show a little bit of yourself. You don't need to share things that you don't feel comfortable with. You don't need to share your whole life story, but just showing some highlights of who you are, what you love, is a great way to build trust and connection with people. Okay, then on to week 7. So week 7 really is like we're running out of time now. So we're focusing on giftable items. And this week, especially items under £100, you can pick the price bracket depending on your business. You might say, actually, I don't have anything under £100. My lower price point is under 200. That's fine. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just sort of saying for people who've been looking at your marketing and thinking, oh my God, I want some of that, but I'm not quite ready to invest in a full kind of the full Monty situation, but I want a little taste of it. What can I get? So it's like, perfect. These are things that you can get at an affordable price point. Just dip your toe in the water, or perhaps to give to people that you kind of like, but not that much. Who knows? So you got options. So again, it's kind of tapping into the gift guide element, and I'd recommend having this on your website as well, is a section where I can look at items under a certain amount, so that if I'm looking for something for someone, but I'm not really sure where I'm going to find it in the right price bracket, it's really easy for me to find. Focus on sharing giftable items under a certain price bracket, and again, that would be an email and a bunch of posts that week about giftable items. Brilliant, which brings us on to week 8. So week 8, I would focus on gift vouchers and last order dates. I would recommend sharing your last order dates before this point, but this would be the key kind of focus of the week. I feel like by this point, most jewelers will have shipped out most of their items. So we're moving on to perhaps things that could be delivered digitally, such as a gift voucher. There might be, again, you'll have to adapt it depending on when you're deciding to close your business. Some people, it's sort of like after the first week of December. Some people, it's right up until the final posting dates for Royal Mail. It is up to you, but just have a think about when you're going to end and then work backwards. But things like gift vouchers and last order date, so reminding your customers that that's an option. And it's great to offer gift vouchers that you can print and send to them, which may take a couple of days to arrive, but also doing an e-voucher is a great way for any last minute kind of Christmas Eve sales, depending on what you're up to. I did used to put aside 2 hours on a Christmas Eve to send out digital gift vouchers, and I said to anyone who bought it in the week before that I would be doing that, and it did work really well. Having said that, if you have boundaries around working on Christmas Eve, I totally respect that, and you can just let people know when the final point is and what you'll be able to give them. Then week 9, if you're still going by this point, it's just reminding people again, final chance to place last gift orders. Just that's all we really need to share, is like final chance emails. Again, perhaps a run through of all the pieces that you've got left. It's great to start selling. It's great to start showing what's sold, because people start to see, oh, these pieces have gone, especially if they're one of a kind. And again, you can pepper in the other bits of content we've been talking about, testimonials, anything like that. But again, really kind of focusing more on the gift voucher, e-voucher options. Week 10 is the week of Christmas, so you probably won't be able to send anything this week, but it's a great opportunity to thank your followers and thank everyone who's been on the journey with you. Wish them a happy holiday, tell them about your closing dates over the Christmas period so that people know that when you're going to be around, and also start talking about perhaps bookings for the new year, especially if you're opening your books for commissions, or if you're going to be delivering classes. This is a good time to sort of sow those seeds, because people start thinking about, oh, what am I going to do after Christmas? So yeah, and just general kind of well-wishing messages, and they can all be scheduled as well, especially if you're taking a break. Which brings us to the end of our 10 weeks. Easy peasy. So above all else, speak from the heart, be yourself. and be a little bit bold and put yourself out there. Don't worry about, interaction or followers too much. If anybody is engaging with you, that is a really positive sign. And remember that a lot of people are watching, but not necessarily engaging. And we don't need thousands of customers for a successful handmade jewelry business. We often don't even need really hundreds. So it's just taking the steps, trusting the process, and moving forwards a little bit each day. If you come off of it and miss a week, just get back on and pick up where you left off. There's no hard and fast rules, but hopefully that gives you a good structure. I think it's a really solid marketing plan to go through. We're going to have a little look at your key dates. So a few key dates. There is just a card indie week on the 24th to the 28th of November. So this is like a marketing campaign for independent independent businesses, not just jewelry. And just a card, the whole premise behind it is that if everybody bought just a card, when they visited a gallery or they visited a shop, if everybody bought just one little thing, then the shops would be really profitable and all the small businesses would be doing really well. So it's about supporting small independent businesses. So that's a great way to kind of get involved with a local campaign. And yeah, you can go and check out on their website all the details. I think they have packs and things you can download. If you have a shop, you can put promotional material for the Indie Week in there. But I'm sure they'll be doing social prompts and all sorts of things. So that's quite fun to get involved with. There is Black Friday and also Colour Friday on the 28th of November. So whilst many jewelers don't want to get involved with the ethos of Black Friday, which is generally buying electronics for cheap on Amazon, which is quite different to our sort of vibe, it is a great opportunity to be online and be sharing your message, because people are on their phones and are buying things that weekend. So I would say don't miss it out. Use it as an opportunity to share your message and what you want to share about your business. Colour Friday is something that Holly Co does. You can Google it and check it out. And it's a campaign over Black Friday, the same period, but to support small businesses. So, and again, there's things you can download and post you can get involved in. You can choose how much you want to get involved in any of these things, but it's just good to know that they are there. Then we've got Small Business Saturday. The UK one is on the 6th of December. This is a great day to just post about supporting small business. And it's also a great day to share all the small businesses that you're supporting. There's a lot of small business love online on this day. So I definitely say get involved in that. And in the USA, it's on the 29th of November. So it can be nice, especially if you have a USA-based audience, to really kind of hone in on that as well. But there's no reason why you can't celebrate both of them wherever you are. Final tips, which we've kind of covered, but just to run through, we want to make sure we've got great images, because selling jewelry is all about desire, handmade jewelry. So if you don't have them this year, if you don't have anything this year, then take it in, plan for next year, and do the best you can with what you've got this year, because we're all at different stages of our journey at different times. But great images are really going to help to sell the pieces. Use video, reels. You can use it in your stories, even on your website. It's great to give that more kind of tactile element to your piece. Show yourself and your lifestyle. So there's a couple of weeks in there that are really all about you and your lifestyle. That is so important for people making the decision to buy handmade jewelry. They can easily go to Argos and buy anything that is, available there, but they are choosing to come to you because they care about what you're doing and they're interested. So it is nice to offer that friendly connection. Try and keep regular contact. That's the whole point of being on social media throughout this time, is to be in contact with people, to share, to be social. We talked about leaving reviews and testimonials and sharing those, sharing them via email, sharing them via socials is great as well. Try and make sure that your payment process is simple and straightforward, so that once I've made the decision to buy from you, the rest is easy breezy. And I love this idea of irresistible offers. So this idea is that if you're going to make an offer for someone to do something, try and make it a really juicy one. So people are like, oh, yes, I would love that. So if you're doing a giveaway, for example, don't give away your worst piece that you don't want anymore. Give away your best piece, because people are going to come to you for that and are going to know you for that and are going to be excited about that. So it's better to do a good offer and get more people excited than to, kind of do an offer that's not great, or something that you don't think people are going to want, because you're going to find it hard to get excited about it. They're going to find it hard to get excited about it. And it's all just, a little bit of more effort. So try and think of something that you're like, yes, I would love that. If you would love it, I'm sure someone else would as well. So your homework is to map out your 10-week Christmas sales strategy. And I have a free download for you guys to work from, which is a template. This exercise should only take around 20 minutes to 30 minutes. It's an Excel spreadsheet that's very easy for you to edit. And I have done one. I have done a 10 weeks until Christmas marketing plan, which you're welcome to copy, or you can edit it and make your own. I'm actually just going to share it with you now, just very briefly, just to show you how it works. So this is what you'll get your download, and what you want to do, there's some simple guidelines here, which is to set your key dates first of all. So like your fairs, your events, any sort of launches you're planning. If you don't know, just start putting them in. Set your last order dates, then plan out your weekly emails, map out your 5 social posts a week, and set aside key days when you're going to focus on different things in your business. So this is the template which you'll have. And you see we are here, Monday the 13th, so you can put what you're going to be doing on Insta, emails, websites, making. And for some people it will be more, and for some people it'll be less. So to give an idea, I've put the key focus at the top, and I've said what I'm going to be sharing on Instagram. I've put an email in each Saturday. My mouse doesn't like all the things that I'm doing. And what I've done, which I think is quite useful, is each Monday is a marketing day, which is going to be creating content for the week. The next day, each Tuesday, is a content creation day, which is going to be taking photos, videos, website updates. Each Wednesday is a jewelry making day. Thursday is an admin day. Friday, packing and shipping out orders. So again, each business will be totally different, but running through and committing to what am I doing when, so that I'm not doing everything every day. So I've got that kind of set out. Then I've got my Insta posts, what I'm planning to share. I've got my emails, so I've got one a week and occasionally another one. Any updates I'm going to put on my website, they're kind of gone in. And it's more dense at the top because I know what I'm doing more at the top. And as I go down, it gets lighter so that I can go ahead and fill it out. But it just gives you an idea of what it could look like. And like I said, you can just follow this one. It's a great one to follow, but you do know your business better than me, so you can go ahead and edit it and make it your own. So going back to my slides, just gives you an idea of what you can expect from the download. Yeah, just to kind of wrap up, remember, whether you believe you can or you can't, you are right. So that self-belief is so important, and hopefully we can help each other to cultivate it even more. I definitely believe in all of you. Also, I know a lot of jewelers who are doing very well at the moment. So because I know there can often be messages. Honestly, since I started in this business, which is like 20 years ago, there's been messages that are positive and messages that are not. But billions of pounds are spent on jewelry every single year. Many of them are spent on handmade jewelry. And for most of us, we only need a little tiny slice of that pie to be able to have a successful business. So there is no reason why that can't be you. And just to share a little bit about the Jewellery Business Academy before we get into questions. For anyone new to Jewellers Academy, this is our 1-year online program where we offer support all year round for jewellers running or starting jewellery businesses. And it's for jewellers of all levels. So whether you're a complete beginner or you've been making jewellery for many decades, it's all about growing our businesses together. It is a training and mentoring program. And like I said, it's for both starting and growing a jewellery business. And how it works is there are monthly trainings around a core theme in developing a jewellery business. So we follow the program together. So January is all about setting our vision and our goals and planning. Then we move on to look at our branding. We spend months looking at our pricing and finances, our photography, our product lines and creating collections. And we follow it all together throughout the year, which is a lovely kind of community development. Alongside the core training, which is done via video online, we have a professional film crew who have created all of the content for us. We have 10 monthly group mentoring calls in small groups to build connection and community. So if you join the program with us this year, you will have Zoom sessions together where you'll be with the same group each month. You get to know each other and support each other, cheer each other on your business. There's also one individual one-to-one mentoring call with a jewelry business expert in a topic of your choice. And this is one of the best parts of the program, I think, because you are matched with someone who has done exactly what you are aiming to do. So if you're looking to get into shops and galleries, for example, we'll match you with a jeweler who is selling through shops and galleries. You can ask some questions, get support, and learn how to do it. If you're struggling with jewelry photography, we'll match you with someone who has done lots of jewelry photography and can share those things. So it's a really specialist mentoring program which helps jewelers to really build on the skills they have in their business. And there are new modules released each month, so it keeps it fresh and it keeps it interesting, and we're all kind of learning and developing together. We also do quarterly business check-in meetings. So every quarter we'll check in as a whole community together and look at, what did we achieve in the last quarter? What things did we learn? What didn't get done? And what are we going to do in the next quarter? So it really helps with accountability and focus and being part of a community of people growing together. There's also a dedicated Facebook community group so that everyone who's in the Jewellery Business Academy can ask questions, get support, ask industry-specific related information. There are some exclusive discounts from suppliers in the trade and a whole bunch more. We have a lot of fun inside the Business Academy. This course is also certified, so it's a 1-year program and it is currently being accredited with CPD, which means that on successful completion of the year, and there's a few requirements that you need to do within that year to be able to get the certification, your work will be assessed, which is a jewelry business growth plan which you create, and you'll be awarded your CPD accreditation. And I think this really helps with the kind of imposter syndrome that can come with running a jewelry business. To know that you have done a certified year of training in how to run a jewelry business is really helpful. Not only for the knowledge and information that you get, but also for the certificate to say, actually, I've got this. So if you're ever doubting yourself or feeling unsure, you can just look over it and be like, I've got this. If you want to know any more about it, I don't want to share for too long here tonight because I wanted to focus on the Christmas content, but feel free to drop us a message or ask us anytime. The fees for the year-long course for 2026, the course is valued at $3,600, but we want to make it as affordable as possible for jewelers signing up. So the current offer is $987, just under £1,000 for the whole year of training, including the mentoring and access to all of the videos, course notes, and all the good things that's going to help us to grow our businesses together. So you can either sign up for the whole year for $987, or you can do a 12-month payment plan for £99 a month. And I would definitely recommend that you should be selling enough jewelry to make that £99 a month back. So it should be an investment and not a cost to your business. If you'd like to find out more, you can check out the link. I know Anna has posted it in the chat. It's jewellersacademy.com/the Jewellery Business Academy. And we are very excited to do another year with jewelers together and build our businesses. It's going to be an exciting time. We have a fast acting bonus for anybody who is keen to sign up in the next 24 hours. We've talked about doing time limited offers, so it wouldn't be right if I didn't also do one here to show what I mean. So if you do join us in the next 24 hours, you'll get a free digital copy of my book, which is called Start and Grow a Profitable Jewellery Business. We will zap that over to you. To qualify, you need to join by the 14th of October, 9 p.m. BST UK time. And here's some little pictures from the book. It's actually a brilliant book, even if I do say so myself. It has everything you need to get started with building and growing a profitable jewelry business. Here are some of the wonderful tutors and mentors on the course. I could honestly talk for a whole hour just about these amazing people, but I'll just do a quick run through of who they are. If you don't know them, then they are going to be wonderful for you to get to know. So the wonderful Anna Campbell is first up, who is our community manager. She has just written her own book and has loads of knowledge in helping people build and run successful jewelry businesses. And she also has a background in psychology and does a lot of mindset work with jewelers around what they need to do to shift their mindset to build a great business. Karen Young is next up. She is a professional jeweler and jewelry photographer. She takes most of our images for Jewelers Academy, and she teaches a lot of the photography content, website content, branding content. There is myself, who hopefully you have got to know a little bit today. Then Ellen Horgan, who makes jewelry using wax and also does a lot of wholesale. So she has a specific kind of take that she's bringing to the course. Emma Renee is also a mostly wax-based jeweler. And she teaches workshops, she sells her pieces, and her background is in advertising, digital advertising. Again, great with branding, anything visual, merchandising, all of that. She is a real whiz at. Then we have the wonderful Tori on the bottom left. Tori has completed all of our diplomas except the diploma in silver metal clay, which she is on at the moment, and she has her own shop and she teaches jewelry making. The wonderful Kelly Twigg, who many of you may know from Instagram, and she teaches a lot about Instagram and social media and how to build a following around your brand. The wonderful Alice Kant, who is based up in Scotland, and she has her own shop there, making and selling fine jewelry. Laura Jane, Small Dog Silver, also known as, and the wonderful Ian Sainsbury. So like I said, I could go on about these guys for ages, but it is a brilliant team. And this is just some of them who you'll be learning from and developing your skills with throughout the course of the year. And then just a couple of our graduates, because I couldn't help but show them off. The wonderful Natalie Furlong, who sells her work in galleries and open studios, and you can see some of her beautiful pieces there. Natalie joined us for the Jewellery Business Academy last year and has really developed and grown her jewellery business, and does a lot of face-to-face sales, but also has used a lot of the content to build her business alongside the face-to-face sales as well. And the wonderful Kate from Factory Floor Jewels, if I can get it out. She focuses on wholesale and sells her work through trade shows. So it just gives you an idea of the diversity of the kind of people that come to us. But again, we'll be sharing more about our graduates and our students over the coming weeks and months as we build up to getting started in January. So final word from me is I would just say, you know, wherever you're at, I hope you feel encouraged to build your jewelry business. This is a great time of year to be really focusing on pushing things forward, because there's a real energy to this time of year in terms of people making purchases, making decisions, thinking about gifting to others, but also buying things for themselves. And if this is something that you want to build, if you want to build a profitable jewelry business that you can maybe leave your job for, for, or that can support you as a side hustle, or that just is a passion and you just want to do it whatever happens, then we believe in you and we're excited to see where that goes. And jewelry businesses take time to build, often many years. So it's good to normalize that and to understand that it doesn't happen overnight, but everything is possible for you. And we just want to give you all the tools so that you're able to build something that you love, that fits around your lifestyle, and that generally makes you happier. I mean, that's the whole point in all of this, I think. So thank you all so much for joining me. There is the link to sign up to the Business Academy if you would like to join us. You can get started. But we will be sharing about it more as we come up to the Christmas season as well. But mostly, have a brilliant Christmas sales season. Good luck with it all. Put yourself out there. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. And, you know, what have you got to lose? Just go for it. And I'm sure whatever happens, you will develop and grow and learn. So I'm just going to have a look and see if there's any questions. I know Anna Campbell is joining me in the chat, so she has been keeping an eye out in case there are any questions. But if you have any you'd like to ask now, please feel free to ask away. Let's have a look. Oh, some people saying thank you. You're very welcome. Great to have you guys here. Just having a look through the chat. This is a great community. I agree. It's a lovely community. And if you haven't already, do put your social media in the chat and follow some other people who have as well, because it's a really nice way to connect with others and just, you know, get the ball rolling. We often say on socials that jewelers comment on other jewelers' socials and then the customers just look. So we're here to kind of like comment and support and like each other. But don't worry if it's just jewelers commenting. It doesn't mean that people are not going to look and buy from you. They will. They'll look and they'll be like, wow, they've got loads of friends. They must be a great jeweler. We love that. Brilliant. Anna, do we have any questions or are we all good? Oh, yes, I see one. Rebecca asked, when posting about yourself, is it best to do this as story or is it okay to be a post? Yes, it can be anything, absolutely anything. The content that's working the best at the moment on Instagram is carousels and reels. So I would say they're about equal. So if you're a little bit shy or you find it easier to do a post, a carousel is great. And for anyone who doesn't know what a carousel is, it's a series of images. So you can flick through and you can almost make it like a little slideshow. So what some people are doing is just getting a really nice picture of themselves, say at the bench, and you can even use the same picture on every slide, but just have some text which you can put over either on the Instagram app or you can do it in an app like Canva. So you can add on bits of your story and it can even be the same image or it can be different images. If you go look at the Jewelers Academy Instagram, you'll see lots of carousels on there, which you can kind of flick through to get an idea. They are doing really well at the moment. So if you've got a bit of a journey to take people on, that can be a good way to do it. But also reels are always doing well. So reels are the videos, so they are great. And I would say share what you're sharing in your posts, in your stories as well, because stories tend to be where people who are already following you look at. So it's great not to neglect that audience because they are people who already like you and are already signed up and interested, whereas your reels and your carousels might reach people who aren't following you as well to help you grow your reach. But however you're up for sharing it, the most important thing is just to share it and to keep sharing it, I suppose. And I think that's sometimes the hardest thing about doing marketing and about doing long-term marketing for your business is you can feel like, well, I've said that before. So it's coming up with a new way to say it or a slightly different angle. And I think that's the creative element, is thinking, oh, what's different about this piece compared to that piece? And what interests me about it? And what did I like about the making process? And what tools did I use? And not judging what you're posting too much based on what the likes and follows, but just keep putting stuff out there. And we're chipping away at things. We're not really looking to have viral content. A lot of the time on social media, people are looking for viral content. That's only really helpful if you want to be famous, if that's the goal. I think for most of us, we're okay without being famous. We would just like someone to buy our jewelry enough so that we can make more jewelry and also have a good lifestyle. So you don't need thousands of views, you don't need thousands of followers all the time. It's more about quality over quantity. And, you know, if 30 people like something that you've put out there and one of them buys it, amazing result, we're happy. So because in a way, if you have too many followers and too much viral content, you get loads of comments and loads of randoms coming, but nobody's actually buying. It's not actually that helpful. So yeah, trying to get rid of the vanity metrics and focusing on what, you know, what is actually going to attract people who are looking to buy from you is super helpful. Brilliant. Okay. I think we've covered all the questions because Anna said she'd answer them as she goes along, which is just like Anna because she's awesome and that's what she does. So thank you, Anna. But if there was anything that anybody asked that we missed, please feel free to drop us an email anytime. You can email me, jessica@jewellersacademy.com, or you can message me on Instagram at Jewellers Academy. I love catching up with you guys. And I will be looking out for your posts and seeing, is that this one? Is that that one? And don't worry about doing the same thing as other jewelers because other jewelers are not your audience. They might buy from you, of course. You know, jewelers do buy from jewelers, but that's not the main target audience. So it's fine if we're all doing the same thing because we'll all have our own little pockets of the world where we'll be attracting people. And there's also this kind of energy from posting yourself that you start to believe in yourself and believe in your business, and then it all kind of comes round. So yeah, baby steps. Don't worry if you don't do it perfectly. For any perfectionists out there, just go for it. Try and enjoy it. Connect with the community if you need any support. And yeah, get your jewelry out there. It deserves to be seen. It deserves to be shown in the world. And I'm really looking forward to seeing them all. And yeah, just wishing you the best of luck. Brilliant. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you guys on another session very soon. Take care. Bye for now.